Becoming a programmer in the traditional sense is no longer enough. With the advent of new technologies, developers are now required to do more than just write good code. The good news is that you don't have to master some of these additional skills. Instead, you just need to be familiar enough with them to use them when asked. In this video, I want to share with you 5 skills that you will need to become a successful developer today. My name is Valentina. I am a front-end developer with over 10 years of experience in web development. I really studied these skills that I'm going to talk about today in the progress of my work, and now I see them very often in current vacancies. Before we start, I'd like to ask to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel. Okay, first, Git source control. If you work with a team or work with code that gets pushed to a platform like GitHub and you are not an isolated freelancer, you should know Git, the version control system. And that's exactly what Git is. It is a version control system used to track changes in code. It allows you to create a separate branch from the main code repository, do your work and merge it back, and only those changes that you made, not overwriting the files themselves. Versioned code is usually pushed to an online repository such as GitHub Bucket or GitLab. By the way, GitLab is a Ukrainian development lab. And if you are not familiar with Git, you can learn its basic pretty quickly. You don't need to buy a course, just go to YouTube and search for GitHub tutorials and you'll see a lot of great lessons. In fact, it's a tool that you can learn right now and then progress over time. To be honest, I don't know all the functionality myself, but the basics are enough for my work. Basic Docker knowledge. In case you didn't know, Docker allows you to take an application, build it into an image, and from there your developer can run the image in a container. I can give it to anyone, and when they run it as a container, I will have all the dependencies and processes that can be run on their own. This will work for you and for me. You can deploy these containers in the cloud, for example, and they start up quickly. And you can deploy multiple copies and so on. Again, there is no need to learn Docker in depth. But being familiar with the capabilities and what it's all about would be a great additional to your CV. Basic API knowledge. You might think that this is part of backend developers' job, but many developers skip it. And while it involves coding that you are already familiar with, there are API-specific skills and architecture that you need to know not if, but when you're asked to work on API. My work as a front-end developer working with APIs happens quite often. I would recommend learning REST API. You will need to learn routes and verbs like post, put, and get. Also learn the responses and status codes. More importantly, you need to learn authentication, tokens, and aspects that keep your API secure. So, I recommend that you also delve into this topic. Basic database knowledge. I had experience with databases when I worked as a WordPress developer. It was a small task, maybe a couple of times a year. Yes, in some jobs it may not be your role, but there may be a project where you as a developer will have to navigate some SQL features to get the job done. And you want to have not only a basic knowledge of SQL syntax, but also knowledge of databases, concepts like databases versus tables, relational versus NoSQL, one-to-many, many-to-many relationship, and SQL syntax such as select, update, join, insert, etc. You don't have to become a DBA, but you should have enough knowledge to understand these issues. Cloud computing. In my work, I had the opportunity to work with the cloud storage, so I can say that a basic understanding of how each project can work in the cloud is important. Here is some statistic according to Tech Report. By 2025, 85% of firms are expected to adopt a cloud-first strategy. Cloud spending in 2022 was about 25% of the $990 billion commercial IT market. More than 60% of all corporate data is stored in the cloud. Everyone is going there if they aren't already. You don't just enter a code and move on the next thing. That code will be connected to the cloud in some way, and you will be asked to contribute to that. Having knowledge in the cloud will set you apart and make you a leader in your role. And if not a leader, then a very capable developer who doesn't need extra help with things outside of code. A basic certification like Amazon Web Services practitioner is a good start, but if you could get a AWC Solution Architect Associate certification, that would be ideal. Possess this knowledge and have it on your CV. So, there is 5 additional skills that programmers, especially beginners, should learn along with their coding knowledge. It's better to include this learning at the very beginning of your journey as a programmer. Let me ask you, do you agree with these 5 skills? What would you add or remove? What else do you think developers need to know? Let's discuss it in the comments. Thank you for watching this video to the end. Please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and see you in the next one. Happy coding!